What up, sports fans all over the world? It's your boy Mac the Giants fan here with my guys, Adam Costas, Zion Zenith. We are the Horsemen, and this is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go!
Boom! And then the intro blows. But guess what, guys? We don't have an intro yet. So you guys have to bear with us. But thank you for joining us on a Friday afternoon. Thank you, Mac, for that great intro. And boy, do we have some conversations to get into. First and foremost, how has everybody been? How has everybody's week so far? I know as the chat rolls in, we'll get more and more comments in the chat. So, but first off, how was your week, Adam? How's your week, Mac? And don't be a ninja watcher. If you guys are here, say hi in the chat. Go right ahead, Adam. How's everything going this week?
It's good. I'm glad it's Friday. It's been a long week, and looking for some, good, entertaining, wrestling. And we got to watch a football game last night. I can't believe it's here. You know what time of the year it is for me. So I'm doing well. How about you?
Hell yeah, I'm doing good myself. What about you, Mac? How's the work week been? How's everything going on this Friday afternoon?
It's good, man. Good. Earlier, man, just, out there talking to everybody. I appreciate the support, people coming through, supporting the stream. I definitely appreciate that. And it's been a great day, man. Great week. Work as usual, business as usual, but here enjoying my Friday night off and talk a little bit of football with the fellas. What's going on, no
Hell
Mets?
yeah, absolutely. Good work week. I love it. I love it. No, Mance, thank you so much for being here too, my friend. That being said, I do want to touch on just the game last night. Let's just get a little like 2 to 3 5 minute sessions on the game last night. I was able to watch the first half. It's really, really hard for me to watch preseason football. I'm so excited for football, and I was so excited for the game, but yet knowing that it doesn't like it really counts. I'm not saying it doesn't count, but knowing that it's not real football, it kind of makes me upset. So I was able to watch the first half, and as soon as the Chargers was able to get that lead, we had Josh, not Josh, we had Allen from the Lions throw a couple of picks. You know what I'm saying? Kind of made it a game, made it not a game. I'm sorry, made it not a game so fast that was kind of like, damn, I wish it was more of a competition. I know we're looking at the Lions third stringers out there, and I do have the Chargers being a really great team this year. But it was a I don't know, man. For me, it was like I wish it was a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? I wish it was more competition. But it was fun. It was really fun to see football back. What did you guys think about the Hall of Fame game real fast? Thank you so much for being here, Goodman. Thank you, Alex, so much for being here, my friend, too.
What's up, Alex?
Coach in the building as well.
What's up, Coach? Sorry.
That's my friend. Adam, you first. What you think about the Hall of Fame game last night?
Well, I think Trey Lance acquitted himself a little well. That guy's been in the league developing. I think sometimes going to the right
Thank you. Shout out to
situation,
Trey Lance.
like with Harbaugh, is a good situation for a guy who needs seasoning, right? Who needs the coaching, who needs to be behind it. Now, Trey Lance may end up being a good head coach one day or something like that. And that's what I feel like is in his future. But he showed enough where if I'm the Chargers and somebody goes down, maybe I'm calling them about Lance. Maybe next year if he plays in the game or, he gets a good reputation, you never know. Backup quarterbacks are slowly starting to become a hot commodity in the NFL because a lot of teams need good backups to sustain their drive for the postseason. So if Lance can do that, and God forbid, you don't ever want to say anything bad, so I won't mention his name, but let's say their quarterback gets a little banged up, they'll be able to navigate the ship with a guy like Trey Lance over there. What I will say is what I'm a little disappointed is Hendon Hooker not being able to beat out Kyle Allen in Detroit
Thank
camp.
you for bringing that up, Adam. Thank you for
He
bringing
came
that
through
up.
with a little bit of I wouldn't say hype, but a little steam. Nonetheless, coming out of college, he needed that knee injury, that redshirt year, and then you saw him play last year, and he kind of had. I think he was kind of still in the mix to be the backup, and then Kyle Allen comes in, and a new OC comes in, and it looks like the guy can't play football, right? So that was a little disappointing to see. It was just good to see football being back. The Chargers are marrying Hampton is going to be an outstanding player. I feel like his running style, the first run he had towards the goal line when they fumbled the ball, his contact balance was interesting because a guy hit him and he kind of body surfed the guy like to get an extra yard or two the way the guy hit him, right? So he didn't really got like the guy went low on him and he just kind of rode a couple bodies and still got 8 yards. And I just think when you're able to run like that, he's going to learn quickly that when you're trying to get to the end zone, run in a straight line as opposed to what he did. I think he would have scored a touchdown, but he was trying to outrun the entire defense. And this is the NFL. The guys have better angles. They know how to get to close gaps quicker. So he'll learn that stuff. But overall, I thought, the Chargers did Charger and things. They ran the ball pretty well. They did exactly what Jim Harbaugh wanted. No real turnovers, no real mistakes. On the other hand, Detroit looked sloppy as hell. And I'm a little – I don't want to say preseason matters, right? We don't want to get deep in the woods here. But for a guy like him, I expected a little bit more discipline across the board with his team. And so that was kind of, I wouldn't say alarming, but I just want to see going forward if their lack of discipline is they're feeling themselves and, you kind of get in the way of things and you're not as focused because you don't care. When the regular season comes on, maybe they'll turn it on. But I just thought for a guy like him, I thought they were a little sloppy. And the opposite with Harbaugh's team. I thought they were, I wouldn't say flawless, but they look like a better coach team.
Wilson, go right ahead, Matt.
Well, it's good. It's good that football is back. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and pretend like I watched this entire game either. I'm like you, I watch a little bit here and there. It's a Hall of Fame game. Hall of Fame game. I'm a little differing in opinion. I feel like I just feel like when it comes to Detroit, I mean this is a good football team. Like I'm down there looking at the box score of this game last night. Only players I even know who played on Detroit last night that I'm even familiar with was Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen. I mean, let's face it, I don't even know who these other guys were, who these other mess men were. They're not going to be factors come September for the Detroit Lions. I mean, their actual squad was just on the sideline. Aiden Hutchinson and company, they're on the sideline, kind of just checking this game out as spectators all last night. As far as Trey Lance goes, he was sharp last night. I'm not going to take anything away from him. But he's also a former number 3 overall pick who's had his struggles in the NFL, amongst, before, what happened in San Fran and didn't catch on with Dallas either, really. Couldn't really stay latched on with them. So, I mean, he had a performance that you kind of expect the guy to come out that he was a number 3 overall pick. And it's good to see that him playing with some confidence. And hopefully he can get some semblance of a career on track, but it'll most likely be obviously in the backup role. I don't really see starting in his future at all. But at the same time, like you just said, Adam, backup quarterbacks are becoming very much more valuable. And it's necessarily not a bad gig to have either, man. If you can be a reliable, dependable backup quarterback in this league. So, like I said, I'm happy football is back. I'm not going to die. I don't like this game was it just was what it is. The first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game. I mean, Trey Lance definitely MVP of the game last night for sure. I mean, he was sharp. He was, and it's good to see him playing some good football. But I take it with a grain of salt. I mean, he was going against a bunch of guys that a lot of these guys are going to be bagging groceries in a couple of weeks. So let's just call that what it is.
Well,
but football's back, and I'm glad.
But for me, preseason is it used to be a lot for me when I was younger, because you saw a lot of guys you don't get to see in the back end of the roster, right? The Tapiti Davises of the world, the Kerry Winds of the world, those type of players who you don't normally see, you get familiarized. I mean, there's a guy named Jonas Seagert or Seawright or whatever who used to play for the Giants. Like that's a legend of the Giants UDFA type players. So for me, it was exciting that with the 3 preseason games, though, it is sloppy because you don't really get to see anybody. And this is why the preseason is interesting, because the first 4 regular season games are usually your preseason, right? People are getting their sea legs about them. They're trying to get into quote unquote football shape. unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs because they practice for 2.5 hours, so they're already in football shape. But everybody else is trying to get there. So I know, Mac, you're saying that some of these guys aren't great, but all I think about is Victor Cruz. I would never known that guy if I wasn't for preseason, right? So,
I mean,
I'm not saying everybody stands out, but it's good to just keep your eye on some players that you might need. What if we need a D tackle and there's a D tackle in the game that's killing it, but we don't, we're like, oh, it's preseason. Well, that guy could be on a giant roster. So I always kind of enjoy watching these young guys try to showcase what they got for the rest of the
NFL. Yeah. I agree with that. I do agree with you on that, Adam.
Understood. That being said, yeah, the Hall of Fame game was yesterday. Preseason is all of August, so we'll be tuning in to see who makes these NFL rosters. But as we move on to our next topic at hand, should I say? That being said, though, like us, being Giants fans, we do play a close eye on our divisions, and I know you guys get the NFC East roundup on Wednesdays. But there is some news that is breaking throughout the NFL that is kind of taking the highlights on all of these media shows, and it is going on in our division. So most of our topics today will be formulated about our division. That being said, first topic at hand. Scary Terry, nightmarish of a player, absolutely dog on the football field, was, I would say, Jaden Daniels' safety blanket last year, a go-to receiver that knowing if he throws in his direction, he's usually going to come down with it. Elite wide receiver that can actually go against some of the best cornerbacks in this game and absolutely beat them and get open and get the ball. A lot of the times we see these wide receivers not really it's hard to say that when we just seen two wide receivers from LSU get paid 30 plus million, but a lot of the times you see these elite wide receivers not really get valued as much as they should be. And this is someone that is in the scenario as well. If your name's not Chase, if your name's not Jefferson, if your name's not apparently Mike Evans, and you're not getting 1,000 yards every fucking season, sometimes the NFL will look at you and be like, you know what, maybe let's just look elsewhere. But that being said, what happens to Scary Terry? Does he re-sign with Washington? Does everything gets handled? Or do you think that he looks elsewhere and he goes and signs with another team? I'm just say this. First off, I know you guys, Washington Commanders. I know you guys bought in Deebo Samuel, but at the end of the day, he was supposed to be the opposite of Terry. I think the whole thing of bringing in Deebo kind of blows up if you don't got Terry on the football field. I'm gonna just say go out and pay the motherfucker. He deserves it. But that's just my opinion. Let's get Mac's opinion first, and then we'll move on to Adam's opinion. Go right ahead, Mac.
Well, Washington, I can't understand it. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. Me and Adam on the NFC on the roundup, but this is ridiculousness. A player of this value, or the player that means this much to your team, you gotta sign him, man. You gotta get him signed. And technically, he can't just walk away. I mean, he is under contract. He's not a free agent or anything like that. He can't just go walk away. But at the end of the day, he can just flat out not play. He can take a stance and not play until he gets his new deal. And it's just an ugly situation. It's getting uglier. I mean, it started off as just, two sides not able to come together on a contract situation. Now it's to the point where now you got him requesting a trade, and it's unfortunate after a year that he had this past season, and just what he's done his whole career for the Washington Commanders. I just, like I said, I don't understand what the complication is. Like, you clearly know what the value of this man is. Deebo Samuel, as much as I like Deebo Samuel as a player, he is not a number one wide receiver. He's just not. I mean, that's just facts. No matter how you slice it, he's not a number one wide receiver. He doesn't have that same skill set of a Terry McLaurin when it comes to being a pure. He's a great playmaker. He adds a lot to the table. I get it, but he's not a number one wide receiver. And Terry McLaurin is a guy that, I mean, he deserves to get paid, man. He deserves what he's been through. He's been through, like Adam, you said the other day, he mentioned all these terrible quarterbacks you can't even name, can't even remember. I mean, it's just been one terrible quarterback after the next for Terry McLaurin until last season, man. And now you want to try to hold out on this guy. I get it, you had your quarterback, but don't do this to your quarterback either. You're gonna take away his best weapon? Like what that's just absolutely asinine to me. I mean, none of it makes sense. And I still believe when it's all said and done, they're gonna get a deal done and get this right. But it's just like, why make it get to the ugly stage? When you can just take care of it and do it respectfully. You know what I mean? You want to let it get to the point of where it's now ugly negotiations, rough, where it's just two sides not being able to come together. So they're at 27 million a year allegedly, and I mean, yeah, I would give him 33. I mean, if they only want to give him 27 million, that means you're telling me a number two receiver on Cincinnati and T. Higgins is worth more money, should be getting paid more money than Terry McLaurin, a legitimate number one receiver. I mean, not saying T. Higgins is
Yeah,
not
and I would say
capable of being
Terry is arguably number one on 20 fucking active rosters. I'm not trying to interrupt
yeah,
that,
like
but would you guys agree that out of 32 teams, maybe 20 active rosters, this Terry is the number one receiver?
I mean, he's the number one receiver, just period. I mean, that's what he is. He's the number one guy. I mean, yeah, sure. So obviously, those obvious teams where he wouldn't be number one, considering. I mean, this ain't with T. Higgins' situation. I get it, but let's face it, man. With this, like right now, Terry McLaurin is worth that. I mean, 30 million. That's not too much to ask for a guy that brings what he brings to the table and what he means, the value that he means to this team. This is what I talk about when it comes to contract negotiations. You got to pay a guy for what he's worth to your franchise, what he means to you and your team. And this is just, you're trying to sit here and pigeonhole people, talk about how old they are and this, that, and the other. What does Terry McLaurin mean to the Washington Commanders? What is the value he brings to the Washington Commanders? Like, come on. This is a no-brainer to me. You have to get this deal done. You have to make this right before it does spin and spiral completely out of control, man. You just got to take care of Terry McLaurin. It's just, to me, it's just stupid. Stupid at this point.
Well said, Mac. And that is a point that Mac brought up too. Look at his numbers and look at the quarterbacks he has had over his career. Absolutely. Terry's a dog. Go right ahead, Adam.
This is the conundrum that the Commanders are in. The new regime wants to play hardball with a guy who's played hardball with the franchise. This guy could have walked away at any point when this team was ass. Okay? This guy could have asked for a trade when they were 4-13 getting thrown the ball by Sam Howell. He didn't ask for a trade. This guy could have asked for a trade when he was getting the ball thrown to him by Kyle Allen. He didn't do it. He stayed loyal. So yeah, maybe the past regime aren't here for the past failures. Well, guess what? Terry McLaurin was. Terry McLaurin dragged his name through the mud, getting 1,000-yard seasons for you week in and week out. Showed up more than any other star you could say on these losing franchises. And you want to tell me that you don't want to pay him money after what he did for you, 13 touchdowns and 1,000 yards, and bailed out your rookie quarterback last year, and now you're going to be like, well, I want to play hardball because I'm a new regime. Screw you. That's what I would say. Screw you. Okay? He's not, I don't believe he's going to be traded, but the straight thought process of, well, in the past was the past. No, we're in the present, motherfucker. And they went to the NFC Championship game with him. Okay? He has 13 touchdowns. He's been a good Samaritan. He hasn't been drama-filled at all. So, yeah, he wants to get paid. Why? Because he deserves it. Because he put in the work to get to where he is right now. Every year we're talking about Scary Terry on this team. Every year when we go down to the Commanders roster, who are we talking about first? We're talking about that guy. You know why? Because he produces with the shit that you give him. With the shit that you gave him the last 6 years of his career, the shit you've given him. And he still produces. He didn't complain. He didn't sit there and say, I need a new quarterback. I need this. I need that. He wasn't a malcontent. He came to work and did his goddamn job. And now you want to sit here and nickel and dime him because he's older, because he's not on your team? You pay a man like this. He's good in the community. He's good with the team. He's been around. He's a damn leader. What does that show to these kids right now? If you don't get the OG that has been there and hasn't said nothing, how's that going to make them feel? The ones who need to get paid. The young guys that we're talking about. You bring in Deebo Samuel, he ain't even homegrown. We talk about keeping homegrown talent. This guy was drafted by the Washington Commanders, and he's been on the Commanders. He ain't no damn, gun for hire like Deebo Samuel was. So don't sit here and tell me that he's not worth the damn money. Don't sit here and tell me that the past doesn't mean a damn thing. Because if it doesn't mean a damn thing, Deebo Samuel's numbers don't mean a damn thing in San Francisco then. He wasn't the weapon.
That's what makes me so mad, guys. It's like Deebo Samuel is a quote unquote gadget player. Like, I love me some Deebo, don't get me wrong, but Terry is a true wide receiver. And you're telling me a homegrown talent, a true wide receiver, a true number one, you're gonna pay a gadget player. I'm not trying to knock Deebo. Like I said, I love me some Deebo, but you're gonna bring in a gadget player over a true number one stud. It just a
guy who hasn't been injured, by the way, unlike Deebo Samuel.
He's
gadgets, unlike Deebo Samuel. You want to sit here and pander about Deebo Samuel. Terry McLaurin's done more for his team with far less.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, far
Absolutely.
less. And we're talking about Deebo Samuel. Guess what team he was on? The 49ers. Weren't they stacked? We're not sitting there complaining. The 49ers didn't want Deebo Samuel. What does that tell you?
In the NFL.
What does that tell you? Okay?
There's only two rosters that could compete. It's the Eagles, Baltimore, and then the San Francisco. And then you're like, oh, yeah, let's not pay Terry. Let's go bring in Deebo from a stacked roster where he clearly had you helping him out and Kittle helping him. And I'm not trying to shed on Deebo to make our point about Terry, but when you have a true number one, like Max said, it's just upsetting. And honestly, it's not really that upsetting because they're in our division, and I'm kind of let our division have fucking problems like this. But shit, it's tough to see when you're a fan of the Shield.
This is no knock. Deebo Samuel is a good player. I'm not like, I don't want to sit here and pretend that Deebo, act like we're saying Deebo Samuels is not a good player. But when it comes to just being a pure wide receiver, that's just not what he is. And he's not a legitimate number one wide receiver. And that's what the case is going to be. If Terry McLaurin, they can't get this right with Terry, they're going to have to rely on Deebo Samuel to be their number one receiver. And that's just, like I said, that's just not what this guy is. I mean,
they're going to have to rely on Deebo to be all worldly. Okay, he's going to have to carry the mail. If you have Terry McLaurin, the things that he's going to do to open up Deebo Samuels, taking a guy deep, helping Luke McCaffrey in the slot, and Zach Ertz because he's pulling coverages because they have to now double Scary Terry. What disservice are you doing to your quarterback, young quarterback, who by the way is on a rookie deal? So I don't understand why you wouldn't pay a guy like Scary Terry, right? What are you doing to your quarterback? You're going to take one of his best players, one of his reliable targets, a guy who's been there a whole year with him, and then say, you know what? We're going to give you this guy you've never worked with before, who we don't even know how he really fits into our offense. Good luck. Like, no. Get your head out of your ass.
On top of that, a guy that's injury prone every fucking year.
Exactly. There's a reason why the 49ers
You're lucky if you get 13 games out of Deebo. I'm not trying to be mean, but it is what it is.
But let's dive into Deebo for a second. I think he's a good player. I think he's good for what he does. He's a matchup nightmare, right? You put him in the backfield, you move him in the slot. But if you why does he do well? Well, guess what he had in the 49ers? Brandon Ayuk, George Kittles, and Christian McCaffrey. Okay? When you have those guys on the field occupying defenses because they have to account for those players, guess what? Deebo Samuels can be Deebo. You take away Terry McLaurin, and I'm not.
That's why it's pathetic, right? It's almost like if when the news broke, like, oh my god, like Washington is getting Deebo. Us as Giants fans was like, oh fuck, that's gonna cause problems. Then you realize, like, holy shit, they don't got their shit stirred up at Terry. It's almost laughable. It's because
he could be better with Deebo, my friend, when now an actual legit threat on the other side that people have to worry about because Deebo Samuel's now there. Do I shade my coverage? I think he'll actually have a better season because who did he have last year? Noah Brown and Zach Ertz coming back and Luke McCaffrey. There was no legit number two in Washington yet last year. Look what CeeDee Lamb will do with George Pickens. You watch that. Look what Jamar Chase does with T. Higgins and a quarterback. Guy gets 1,700 yards a season. because he has T. Higgins over there helping pull coverage.
Chad.
Look what A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith do. Well, we
I
want to
know
sit
that,
here
man.
and pick Terry McLaurin to another team and hope that Deebo Samuel can be half the player that Terry McLaurin is as a wide receiver. Good luck with that, Washington. You go try
Yeah,
to
me as a Giants fan, I hope he gets traded to Baltimore and he gets gone. Like, I'm fine with that. You know, you guys are into my division. Shout out to you, Terry, but I hope you go perform outside of my division. Go right ahead, Mac. One final thoughts about Terry before you move on.
No, I just think it's shameful. I just feel like it's shameful. Overall, that's all I got to say about it, man. Washington, you need to do better. Like this player means a lot to your team. It doesn't matter how you feel about him. It doesn't matter where you think he ranks amongst the wide receivers in this league. What does he mean to you, to your organization, and to your franchise? What has he done for you? Nothing but been productive. He's been nothing but productive every year of his career for this team. And now when you're finally getting good, feeling yourself a little bit, now you feel like you've outgrown Terry McLaurin now all of a sudden. You know, it was fine while he was getting you 13 touchdowns a season ago. That was perfectly fine while he was doing that for you a season ago. But now you feel like, we can go ahead and be better without Terry McLaurin. We can be better without this guy. Come on now, give me a break. Give me a break.
That sounds like, Mac?
And like I said, also, just what it does for your young quarterback, taking away his best weapon. You're just eliminating his best weapon. You think that's going to help the development of your young quarterback? Well, sure, I know he's a good, sensational rookie of the year, had a great year, all this and that. That's not going to be helpful going into his second season when other teams have a whole season worth of tape on him now, and now you take away his best weapon. Go ahead. I mean,
the reason, you know what that reminds me of, Mac? An overthinking GM. A GM trying to nickel and dime and over negotiate. Here, do what you need to do. We talk about players. You pay them. We want them paid. It's not like he's 33 years old asking for money. He's still in his prime of his career, and he gave you all this, right? We talk about resume. Guys have gotten paid. Daniel Jones, who are having less of a resume on their careers than this guy has had, and yet we want to sit here and Adam Peters wants to nickel and dime him. It's over. It's a no-brainer. We thought about the same thing about Saquon Barkley last year. Okay, what did we say? We banged the table to sign that guy. We signed that guy. Let's do that. Let's give him. And you know what Joe Shane decided to do? He decided to do what Adam Peters did. Overthink the situations. And no one's going to pay him. And he goes on to the Eagles and wins the Super Bowl. You're telling me that if he gets traded to, I don't know, maybe Kansas City or Buffalo, he's not going to do well there, and you're going to be sitting there getting railroaded, dog walked by the Eagles because you don't have a second receiver because you decided to overthink shit with Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuels, who has a hamstring injury, gets banged up because he has bruised ribs and shit, is not in the game, so you're relying on Luke McCaffrey and your quarterback, who now has to play like Superman because you decided to get rid of his weapon.
Please do, Washington. Please do that, Blueprint. That'll be amazing for us. Follow what Adam is saying is ship him off. We all know Coleman's gonna be a beast in Buffalo, but please ship him off to Buffalo. Go right ahead, Mac.
Well, I was gonna say I'm sure Buffalo and Kansas City have already been in contact with Washington about Terry McLaurin because he would automatically be the best wide receiver on both of those teams, which those are both very good teams. But that's one thing both of those teams lack are those legitimate number ones. You know what I mean? Neither one of them really had that in the receiver room. I mean, so Terry McLaurin would fit in perfectly with either one of those teams, to be quite frank. Just saying. And Chad, that's good stuff, Chad, man. That's definitely good stuff, bro.
Absolutely, Chad. I know I love my Pat McAfee, and I probably seen you if you was still live at the Steelers camp. I try to get in my Pat McAfee fix daily. I know he had MGK promoting his album there as well. So shout out to you, Chad. Good stuff. All right, guys. As we move on into the division, because there's all the divisions problems. We got problems in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? We got a owner that bought the team and won championships, and then haven't won championships for the last 27 years. The last time the Dallas Cowboys was relevant, the DVD didn't even exist. That being said, though, the Dallas Cowboys American team, the only thing that makes them good are the cheerleaders and the show they got on Netflix. That being said, though, problems in Dallas. Michael Parsons, one of the best. I would say edge rushers that we've seen coming out of college in recent years. There's a lot requesting the trade as well. Not only is Terry requesting the trade, breaking news today. Michael Parsons wants out. He's not fucking dealing with this fucking Troyman fucking riddle me this Jerry shit. Like, fuck you, Jerry. I want out. That's what he's saying. I'm not saying that. What do you guys feel about that? Go right ahead, Adam, and then pass it over to Matt. Actually, you know what? Pause. Mac went second on this time. So Matt, you go first. Adam, you go second. Go right ahead, Mac.
Well, look,
He just looks
this is
disgusted.
once again.
He just looks so disgusted.
This is just once again like this is straight up foolishness to me. It is foolishness to me. This even more so than the Terry McLaurin situation because look, I love much as I like Terry McLaurin too. This here is legitimately one of the absolute best players in football. Period. On either side of football. Period. So what are we even talking about? What are we talking about here? How do you play strong? Well, how do you try to play hardball with Micah Parsons? Like Micah Parsons has been nothing but a good Dallas Cowboy through and through, on and off the field. He showed up for training camp. He didn't even do any of the holdout stuff. He showed up, even going through this contract negotiations, and he was still there. He's still been there supporting this team. And now you just turn this into something ugly. It's ugliness. We are talking about one of the best talents in football, and we're gonna hold out and act like we're gonna just spin our wheels and act like we don't have to pay Micah Parsons, like we don't want him to be a part of this. Like what are we even thinking? Now he's on social media tweeting and all kinds of crazy. He doesn't even want to be a part of the team. I mean, he's literally tweeting out stuff like that he doesn't even want to be a part of Dallas anymore. This is far worse than the Terry McLaurin situation. Terry McLaurin hasn't crossed over to that point yet. He's just requested a trade. Micah Parsons has not only requested a trade, he done already basically said goodbye to Dallas. See you later. Peace out. Kick rocks. This is absolutely ridiculous. Jerry Jones, this might be the way you do business, but you need to think about it in the future going forward and change the way you do business. Because this is just, we're talking about Micah Parsons here. This is Micah Parsons. There's nothing that needs to be said. I don't have to make an argument for why Dallas is utterly, Jerry Jones is an idiot for the way he's handling this situation. Because we're talking about one of the best players in football, period. Any position, either side of football, just legitimately one of the best. You can't name 10 players in the league, period, right now, probably better than Micah Parsons overall as a player. This guy is just a phenomenal talent. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are just they're messing up. They're screwing this one up big time, man. They're screwing it up big time. I'm done with this.
Well fucking said, Mac. Right over to you, Adam.
Listen, again, this is where you're trying to play fucking 3D chess and everyone's playing checkers, whatever that fucking saying is, okay? Like, it's dumb. The guy's been a sack machine coming into the league. He's the only player on defense that you really recognize. Sure, they have Trey Diggs and they have a few others, but who's the guy we think of every year going to Dallas? Who the guys we have to cover? You know? So, I don't know. Did he agree to a handshake deal? The point is, this is dumb. He wants to get paid. He saw TJ Watt make an insane amount of money. And he's like, I'm just as good as TJ Watt. I'm just as impactful as that guy. And I don't know what their agreement is. And if that is the case, he did shake a hand. Well, guess what? Jerry Jones is a man of business. So if you say, we have a deal in principle, and you shook his hand and say, I agree, and then you walk away and want more money, that's shenanigans. So who knows what's really happening? If he wants out of Dallas, again, there's going to be a team lining up to get him. Teams will give up their left nuts sacks just to get the fucking Micah Parsons. They'll give him whatever they want, right? This is more than Scary Terry. You're dangling a gold jacket possible player in front of somebody. Scary Terry can help a gold jacket quarterback make it even better for him. But this is making a team like Kansas City, a team like, the Ravens. So that's a team. If I'm John Harbaugh, I got nothing to lose. Get me Micah Parsons, put him on this defense. Bang. Get
Yeah,
him
if
on
I'm
that
Los
team.
Angeles Chargers, like bring him
Right.
along. And if I'm the
Like
Pittsburgh
John
Steelers,
Harbaugh could use
bring
a guy
him
like that.
along.
Like, you know how many teams across the league could use a Parsons and are willing to give up draft picks and draft capital? Hell, if I'm the damn Commanders, I'm calling him up. Say, what the hell do you need? You want Scary Terry? I'll do a swap for a swap. You know what I mean? I'll do whatever I need to get Michael Parsons if he's really available. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think it's a tactic on both sides because, Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. And this could be like an Emmitt Smith situation. Remember, Emmitt Smith in 1993, if you guys do not know, he held out. And he held out so long that they got blown out in the first game. And Emmitt Smith came back and Jerry Jones opened the purse strings. They went on to win the Super Bowl, right? Because they knew that they needed him so badly. That is the impact that Micah Parsons has. He is the heart and soul of your defense, damn near the heart and soul of your fucking team, okay? He's the face of your defense and the face of your team. People are wearing jerseys more than Dak Prescott jerseys. They're wearing Micah Parsons jerseys. You went up and got him. Go pay your guys. I hate these. We talk about these teams all the time, about homegrown talent and paying guys. And when you get a chance to pay a guy, you don't want to pay him. Why? Because of what? He's too good? Oh, I don't want to pay this guy anymore. It's too damn good. Can't have good players on the Dallas Cowboys anymore. Don't want to win anymore. That shows me your lack of winning. You go and pay CeeDee Lamb. You go and pay Dak Prescott. You go and pay Ferguson. You pay everybody that doesn't do a damn thing. Nobody talks about those guys. They get injured and banged up. We're talking about Dak Prescott every year. He could do this. His season's cut short. CeeDee Lamb. Will he or not give up on this play? Right? Micah Parsons, all he does is be all pro. He farts all pro. That's all he does. He wakes up in the morning and he's an all fucking pro. You can count on that guy every game. He's a game wrecker. A guy, there used to be this topic in Madden, right? There used to be like, breakaway speed or game-breaking speed, right? This guy is a game-breaking player. He will wreck the game. He is a guy that is that impactful on a defense that you pay him because with him off the field, your defense is not as scary. If you tell me week 2, Micah Parsons is not there, I'm saying the Giants are beating the Cowboys. But if Micah Parsons is there, I'm fearing for Russell Wilson's life because that guy is going to be all over the field, right? Abdul Carter, we have him nice. He hasn't done shit yet, okay? We can pretend that he's Micah Parsons, but he ain't there yet. Micah Parsons is there. He came into the league as a beast. He's still a beast, and now he wants to be paid like a beast.
I love the fact that you said identity. You didn't use that word, but that's what I got out of that. It's like, who is Dallas defense without Micah Parsons? I'm not scared of Dallas defense without Micah Parsons. It's the National Football League. These are the best defenses on the planet. Ain't nobody scared. Ain't no offensive coordinator scared of Dallas defense without him on the football field. How much Sticks means to this defense is almost their identity. And that's why I use that word, because you brought up him being the face of the franchise outside of Dak Prescott. You take Michael Parsons away from this football team, they go from a contender to a 8-8 football team. And that's just me being honest. I do not fear Dallas Cowboys without Michael Parsons on this football field. And just as high as I am on Abdul Carter and this D-line and this defense of this year and the Giants and what we're going to bring to the table, it's because of players like Parsons. You hear Abdul Carter talks in interviews and he's like, you know what? I do respect Sticks because he taught me everything I knew at Penn State, but I'm trying to become my own. Dude, what the fuck? Hold on.
And that's
right.
what
The house ain't burning down.
That's what we're kind of doing. That's Jerry Jones. Jerry calling up. I don't like what you're saying about Micah Parsons. I open the purse strings for everybody. I'm just doing a negotiation tactic.
That was a pretty good Jerry Jones. My bad vibe. Got the vape going. I don't know why that would set up a smoke detector. But long story short, like, these teams in our division get it the fuck right. Pay your players. I can't stand when there's players on the football field that gives the
You know,
heart,
man.
fucking
You don't
the
pay
blood,
nobody.
the sweat, and and their tears to this damn game, and the franchise don't respect them. That's why I was so mad about the
You
Trey
don't pay nobody.
Henderson situation, right, with the Bengals, right? It's almost as like you guys want to all put all this credit on the fucking offensive side, and yes, we know I'm a big fucking believer in Joe Burrow too, but let's not act like Trey ain't Trey. Let's not act like Trey is the fucking identity on that defense. I just hate when these franchises like Washington, like Dallas, like the Bengals, like let's be real. Pay them what they deserve. And Sticks is one of the best players, like Max said, inside the top 10. I couldn't name 8 players better than him. And I dare motherfuckers to try, but Sticks is him, man. And it's rare that we find someone this talented at this early. I grew up watching Troy Polamalu. I grew up watching Luke Kuechly. Like, this guy is right up there with them. You know what I'm saying? Not to that level yet, but he has the opportunity to get to that level and pay the motherfucker because he damn near deserves it. And I hate being a fan of the other team, but fuck, man, this guy damn near deserves to get paid. And I don't know what Jerry's doing, but if you guys want to go fucking overpay your wide receiver and overpay your quarterback, I am not too shabby about it because we're in the conference and, we have our fucking 2 best players signed and fucking Andrew Thomas and fucking Dexter Lawrence. So watch out because the Giants is coming. Speaking of the fucking Giants, Eli Manning.
Go ahead. Absolutely. I do agree with this comment, though. I mean, at the end of the day, we're sitting here talking about this and going back and forth right now. But at the end of the day, I agree. I feel wholeheartedly that Micah Parsons will be a Dallas Cowboy. Terry McLaurin will be a Washington Commander. They're not going anywhere, but these GMs, they need to stop dragging their feet, man, because it's just stupid at this point. With players of this caliber, of this talent level, it's just you're dragging your feet now, and you're making situation worse than it has to be. It never had to get to this point. You know what I mean? That's where I'm getting. It never should have had to get to this point. And like I said, I say it with even more emphasis with Micah Parsons, because like we said, we're talking about a guy who is an absolute top 10 player in the league. We're not talking about even just a top guy on his team. He's the top guy in the league. Like what? Like there's nothing to even talk about with a player like this. There's no reason why you shouldn't just be okay. TJ Watt got $30 million. Oh well, I guess now we got to pay Micah $31-32 million. That's just what it is. That's the nature of the business. That is the nature of the business. That's the way it works. You drug your feet. You let TJ Watt sign. You let TJ Watt sign first. He got $30 million. Now you got to pay Mike up at least $31-32 million. That's the way it goes. I'm sorry. that's the position you put yourself in.
Owners real, guys, like Jerry Jones, like you call yourself like fucking, a football guy, right? It's like the only player outside of Sticks that deserves that money is Mac mentioned him is Watt. So it's like you literally have the top fucking 3 in the position. Like we can say the same for fucking Dexter, right? We can say that Dexter Lawrence is top 3 in his position in the whole fucking National Football League. I agree. We all agree on that statement. We can even say Andrew Thomas is the best top 3 left guard at his position. Some may argue he's in the top 5, but fuck it, he's in the top 3. Healthy, he's in the top fucking 3. I don't understand how these owners fucking see that. You know what I'm saying? Cannot fucking see that Dix, his respectable fucking position is debatable with fucking Watt. And that's when you think of that last name, Watt, that fucking shit holds fucking it's supposed to mean something. We're talking about the Watt family. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand that. But let's basically move on and let's get G Nation in the house. What's up, my brother? Thank you so much for being here. Let's move the fuck on. That being said, some people may be like, you know what? He doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That's all bullshit. This guy deserved to be a fucking first ballot Hall of Fame. And it's fucking ridiculous that he didn't get into the first ballot Hall of Fame. But we all know that the NFL is rigged if he doesn't get in the class of 2026. Shout out to everybody that made it this year. Congratulations to them getting inducted on Saturday night. Shout out to the Hall of Fame game, like we mentioned earlier in the show. But Eli Manning, class of 2026, I don't know why the fuck they had to do him dirty like this. But that being said, Eli Manning, the only motherfucker that beat the GOAT outside of old heads, maybe like, oh, Marino's the GOAT. Yeah, we get it. Marino is the GOAT. But Tom Brady is the fucking GOAT too. You know what I'm saying? And Eli beat him twice. So I'm going to let Adam begin. Hall of Fame Eli, class of 2026. I don't even know why I'm going to pose this question. But Adam, does Eli Manning deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, before I answer that, let's give context to what happened. So there was a conversation that was brought up between a couple of people in a chat that I was in. And they woke up salty about Eli Manning not being a Hall of Famer, trying to, I guess, get me angry and riled up about Eli Manning. So I, entertained this, and this happened to be a Cowboy fan. So we already know where their credibility is coming from. Okay, a Cowboy fan who hasn't won in 30 years is going to tell me about Eli Manning. But okay, I entertain the idea. So here we go down the list. And he's like, well, Eli Manning only has 117 wins. He's a 500 quarterback. He's, got longevity. He's done this, that, and the other thing. All these, like, mediocre things. And I'm like, well, what has Troy Aikman done? Well, he's a prolific passer. How? Steve Young was in the same class as him. And Steve Young threw for 4,000 yards in a couple of those 1990 seasons that you're saying it's a different era. I get it's a different era. But Eli Manning didn't have a Hall of Fame running back behind him, a Hall of Fame offensive line in front of him, or a Hall of Fame receiver to play with. I don't like to use teammates against a person in a discussion. However, if you're a Cowboy fan and you're trying to tell me that Eli Manning, who won 2 Super Bowls and have 2 Super Bowl MVPs, is not a Hall of Famer, then you got another thing coming. Because you can't tell me that little old UCLA boy and Troy Aikman was this prolific passer. Listen, I watched Troy Aikman in the tail end of his career. I wasn't there fully. But you can't tell me that guy was Favre, better than Dan Marino, better than, John Elway. All those guys were prolific passers. Okay? If you want to tell me that Eli is not those guys, fine. But you can't put Troy Aikman on that level. Okay? You can't. You just can't have one of the most epic playoff runs in the history of the NFL. Not to mention 2 of the most iconic plays in the history of pro sports. Okay? Not just the NFL. Okay? The Tyree catch. My Cowboy friends said, well, Tyree made the catch. Who broke the tackle? Did we miss that part? A guy in Eli Manning who wasn't supposed to be athletic is all of a sudden breaking out of tackles? That is exactly he didn't do this. Half the interceptions are counted to the pitcher, even though he pitched a perfect game. Does that mean that he's a bad? Eli Manning throws the ball, hits Keem, it hurts his stock. Why? Because he's not Peyton. So everybody thinks of Peyton Manning first, and then they think of Eli. And he was. Maybe I should not go. Joe Flacco will probably get in the Hall of Fame because he had one prolific playoff run. He's won a Super Bowl. Okay, but if you were to put Hall of Famer, because they'd have no hate into another with all that pressure on, delivered not only 1, but 2 Super Bowl MVP. You know how many guys in me about Eli Manning not being a Hall of Famer? I got a fucking bridge to sell you. Okay. He said it yesterday. He says it again today. In Super Bowl. 2 of them.
I will say this though. I think we wouldn't judge him or the world were different. Not only that, but the season in 2011, the last time that the Giants had won the division. So hopefully we can win the division this year and set that shit. Mac, 2-minute drive Eli. The Eli that and this is a Eli Manning fan that came over from
Patrick Mahomes 3 times. They won it 3 times, and of course Tom Brady has won the award 5 times. That's the company Eli Manning is in, of guys who have won multiple Super Bowl MVPs. There ain't no debate about any of them other guys' Hall of Fame status. I'll tell you that. There's no debate about that. That.
6 people?
Well, yeah, 6 people total. Yeah, six guys total that have won at least 2 Super Bowl MVPs. At least 2. 3 of those guys have won more than 2. But that's the company Eli Manning is in, man. It's to me. People try to talk about his 117 and 117 record. Why is that on the quarterback? When football is a team sport, the quarterback ain't out there playing this game by himself. He ain't out there playing this game. That's a testament of what kind of New York Giant teams Eli Manning was on. And that even the drives the point home even more that he should be in the Hall of Famer because he took a couple of what are considered very mediocre teams to the Super Bowl and won. Twice. Not with great teams. Neither one of those New York Giants teams were great football teams. Yet he went to the Super Bowl twice and knocked off arguably the best team in NFL history, the 2007 Patriots. I mean, 72 Dolphins, you can say whatever you want. You're undefeated. You went the whole way without losing the game. I don't think you were getting on the field with that 2007 Patriot team and winning. You probably would have took an L to that football team because that team was phenomenal. I'm not trying to knock you 72 Dolphins, but I'm just saying that 2007 Patriots team was probably
of the game.
Was probably the best team in NFL history. A loaded football team. Talking about Randy Moss and Tom Brady and all the other weapons that team had. That come on. Talking about one of the best coaches from Bill Belichick, that football team. Eli Manning did so many great things. Then another thing about Eli Manning doesn't get credit for. People try to say he didn't make players better around him. Are you kidding me? Let's look at the list of players. Look at Jeremy Shockey after he stopped playing with Eli Manning. Where'd his career go? After he left the New York Giants. Went right down the fucking shitter. Hakeem Nicks. Now, I know injuries had a little bit to do with Hakeem Nicks and everything, but where'd his career go after he left the New York Giants, stopped playing with Eli Manning? A guy like Kevin Boss, a guy that came out of kind of nowhere, 2007 draft pick, that got his opportunity when Jeremy Shockey got injured. And he had to end up having a couple of good years with the New York Giants. Then he goes and signs his free agent deal with whoever, the Raiders, I think it was. What happened to him after that? Nothing. OBJ, another example. Where did OBJ's career truly go after he left the Giants? As we see what OBJ is doing now, he's hoping somebody picks up the phone and gives him a call. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Martellus Bennett, Eli Manning got that man paid. Eli, he had such a great year with the New York Giants. The New York Giants couldn't even afford to retain him because that's the kind of season he had coming over from Dallas with the New York Giants with Eli Manning at a quarterback. Guys like Larry Donnell, Jake Ballard. Who are these guys? They were nothing except for when they played with Eli Manning. Don't give me shit about he didn't make people better. He made people better around him. He made the talent around him better, and he maximized that talent. He got the most out of him. And like Adam said, he never once played with a Hall of Fame running back. Well, but maybe potentially because he did play a couple years with Barkley, obviously. So Barkley may one day be in the Hall. But he never played with a Hall of Fame receiver. He never had a Hall of Fame offensive line in front of him. Talking about the defense won those championships. The defense played great in those games. It absolutely did.
Horrible all year.
But when it came down to the come down, when it mattered most in both of those games, they needed Eli Manning to have put together game-winning drives. He did it twice.
You know the ranking
twice
against 2011. They were 32nd in the league. That offensive line ranked 32nd in the league. Like, keep that in mind. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
Like we talking earlier, me and Adam talking earlier. Like you said, that throw down the sideline of Mario Manningham Super Bowl 46. Are you kidding me? He dropped that thing right in the bucket, back against the end zone. Just dropped back and dropped that thing down in the bucket. And then, like I said, we're not even talking about the helmet catch. The helmet catch, everything about that play was just, come on, son. Come on, son. Let's go to the San Fran game when they played San Fran in the championship game, in the NFC championship game in 2011. You know how many quarterbacks wouldn't have survived that game? You know how many QBs would not have survived that game?
That changed Alex.
They were getting after Eli's ass. They were getting after Eli's ass in that game. Picking this man up, pulling dirt out of his helmet, twisting his shoulder pads back on right. He just still kept stepping in there and throwing darts. That man was a savage when it mattered most. when the lights were the brightest, you were going to get the best Eli Manning. Remember the first home game at Jerry's World? Eli Manning, he signed that wall at the end of that game after opening that stadium up, opening that can whoop ass on Sunday Night Football. Eli Manning deserves the credit, has some respect put on his damn name. Yeah, he wasn't the best regular season quarterback. I'm not making that argument that he was like the best quarterback, that he was this and that. But damn it, when the lights were the brightest, you knew Eli was going to show up. He was always on time, and he was always going to be ready. Put that man in the Hall of Fame where he belongs. Retired as the top 10 in every major passing category at the time he retired. Put that man in the Hall of Fame because that's where he belongs.
You can't take away someone's effort because the defense did their fucking jobs. Like, I don't get it. We Max said it best. We don't want to praise the team when it's a team game, right? It's a team sport, Lamar Jackson, blah, 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 right? Winning games. But then when it's Eli Manning, it's everybody else did the job, but not him. Everybody else played good, but not him. He never gets the credit that he deserves. And I'm not trying to sit here and get on a soapbox and tell you how great Eli Manning was. Was he the best quarterback in the regular season? No. But when the playoffs came on, he damn sure got locked in. Like Max said, opening day, Jerry's World didn't faze him. His name's written on that locker for a reason. Okay? He had a swagger about him. He had a calmness about him that this team needed. And we haven't seen since. We're still trying to emulate it. So this is where I get annoyed by people. The impact of a player is far greater than the stats that he puts out there. His impact on that football team is far greater than the 2 Super Bowls. Okay? His legacy for the Giants, what he did for this franchise, surpasses everything. Before Eli came in, it was Phil Simms. After Eli came in, Phil Simms became an afterthought. We barely even talk about Phil Simms anymore. You know why? Because Eli Manning obliterated what was our standard at quarterback, the guy that we held in high regard prior to anybody else. And then Eli Manning walked through that door. And let me tell you, for 6 years, we're still trying to emulate him. The fucking Joe Schmo we schlepped out of here was supposed to be a carbon copy of Eli. Well, guess what? That you only get one Eli. He was an Iron Man. In a day and age where guys can't even stay on the field, this guy was there day in and day out. And you know what his answer was? I need to be available for my teammates. That's what I need to do. And we want to poo-poo him because his name is Eli Manning, because he's all shucks. Oh, well, the defense played well. Guess what? I'm still not taking away the effort that was put forth through Eli Manning. You don't just do that. This ain't the 2000 Ravens. Okay? Where Trent Dilfer had to
like I said,
ride the pine
exactly.
and take that team to the end. Sorry.
But like I said, I'm not just taking away from what the defense did in that Super Bowl. They did play phenomenal. I'm not discrediting that. But I'm not going to take away from what Eli Manning did as well. Because with 2 minutes and change, as great as that defense played, we were losing. We would have lost if Eli Manning didn't do what he did. That's the point I'm making. Like, we would have lost that game if he didn't do what he did. The defense, as great as they played, the lead was surrendered with 2 minutes and change. And he had to come out there on the grandest stage against the best damn team, like I said, not just in football that season, in my opinion, the best damn team ever. He had to get on that stage and go downfield and deliver a game-winning touchdown. Not a field goal, not just get some field goal position. He had to get into the end zone. And that's what the hell he did. And he got it done. He got it done.
Sure. And he did it for sure. And
that's all I'm saying. The defense played amazing. They played out of their mind. Like you said, they had Tom Brady and so under more pressure than he felt that entire season. You are correct. I'm not disregarding that. I'm saying that it still took the effort from Eli Manning to put us over the top in that game. It took that effort.
Let me ask you this. If Jalen Hurts played a good game in the Super Bowl last year, so did the defense. Are we talking about the defense or are we talking about Jalen Hurts? No, they gave the MVP to the quarterback who outplayed arguably the best quarterback of our generation now, right? So Eli Manning, his generation, he outplayed the best quarterback and coaching tandem in his generation. And what people don't get is that you go listen to America's Game. I ask you to go do some homework. If you're a football savant and you like football, right? Go in there and listen to what Bob Papa and Carl Banks say in that America's Game. They say, if you like high drama, if you got a stomach for high drama, buckle up. This is what quarterbacks live for. This is what quarterbacks live for. You know what Eli Manning lives for? Winning the game in 2 minutes. He did it twice. He didn't fold. He didn't throw a game-sealing interception. He drove that team down the field, stared the Patriots in the eye, and said, I got you. And he still makes fun of Tom Brady today, who still has painful memories of that loss. But we want to give it to the defense because we want to take away the credit of somebody who deserves it. You know, in
I don't think
in WWE they give a rising star a chant. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Eli Manning deserves everything that he gets, and that means the Hall of Fame. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good, and I understand that you and D-Illa know each other as well, and I don't think D-Illa is playing off of the point that the Eli Manning ain't Eli Manning, because I know D-Illa knows who Eli Manning is, and I know a lot of the point is the defense that did win us that Super Bowls. But one thing that we have to point into account too is a lot of points that you guys both brought up. Like, a lot can change from the undefeated Dolphins. A lot can change from fucking the 85 Bears. Like, we talk about the speed of the game. I honestly get more irritated, and I won't say irritated. I won't even say mad. I would say talking to you guys about basketball, right? And you guys are such big heads of the old game. And what do I bring up all the time? Hey guys, I get it. It's not as physical, but it's so much faster, right? So when you look at the NFL, like, you look at the 85 Bears, you look at the Dolphins, the undefeated Dolphins, yes, but the game from back then compared to 2007 is totally different. It's much more faster, right? And when you look at Eli Manning, what he was able to accomplish on the offensive side of the ball without the Hall of Famers is absolutely a Hall of Fame worthy career, is why I put him a first ballot Hall of Fame. The fact that he didn't reach the first ballot is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that his career was plagued for the last 6 seasons without having an O-line is absolutely ridiculous. If you look at in-season, I'm a big in-season type of guy. You know? Look, I'm a big look. I'll let you get at that in a few, Adam, but I'm a big in-season type of guy, and in-season matters to me. And that's why I myself can't put Jalen Hurts as a top quarterback. That's why I myself would put Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert in the top 5 above Jalen Hurts from my own top 10 list. I get it. Winning does matter, but I'm more of what can you do in season, and what I've seen Eli Manning do, not only in season, not only in fourth quarter moments, but also going into the playoffs, and why people would put quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts and great winners in the playoffs into the great quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks of the modern day, is because what they can do in the playoffs. Then you're out of your fucking mind if Eli Manning is not in the Hall of Fame. Well, because all he did in the fucking playoffs was blow the fuck out.
So let me say something real quick. One more thing too. One more thing I just want, because I think it's something that goes under the radar about that Super Bowl 42. I think it goes under the radar for some reason. Everybody talks about the New York Giants defense in that game. New York Giants defense, lights out of their mind that game. People forget that the Patriots defense also played lights out and out of their mind in that game as well. I mean, let's face it. They were putting it on the Giants for most of that game as well. So it was a hard-fought defensive battle for most of the way, both ways. And that same argument goes both ways. When it came down to the come down, Eli Manning was able to go downfield against that defense. And I hear you, Asante Samuel dropped a potential game-over interception. That happens. It's football. It happens. That's not shame on him. He had an opportunity to put it away. He missed his opportunity. He didn't get another one. Eli Manning didn't give him another opportunity. Exactly. So that just is what it is. So look, their defense played great. Giants defense played great. But when it came down to that clutch moment, Eli Manning made the clutch plays, and the New York Giants beat a team that they were double-digit underdogs, and that they were double-digit underdogs to, and had no business beating in most people's opinion.
No business beating.
Let me put
Didn't
this
even
here.
belong on the same field as that team,
Land this
according to
plane and we
most.
can get
What
on
most
to the
people were
next topic.
saying.
Go
Let
right
me put
ahead,
it this
Adam.
way. Let me put it this way. Okay, that team, that vaunted defense that you talked about, they gave up the lead. Right? They put the ball in the Giants' hands. The Giants punted the ball and said, "Here, defense, go win us the football game." Right? Because they were up. And then guess what happened? They were up 10-7. And the defense decided, we're not going to play our best here, right? They went down there with Tom Brady and Randy Moss and couldn't stop them. They had a lengthy drive. So what happened? They gave the ball back to Eli Manning. And instead of wilting and punting, which everyone thought he would do, he rose to the occasion. Was there a little bit of luck involved? Sure. But everybody drops an interception here and there. We can go with every if, and, or but. But at the end of the day, those opportunities were missed. And the ones that Eli Manning made weren't. And that's the difference between winning and losing. Asante Samuel, you can tell me all you want. Oh, he could have made the interception. Great. He didn't. I don't care about
There's
that
only
argument.
one thing to stop on our offense, but there's another to stop a prolific offenses in the history, NFL in the NFL history. Hey, I have been many arguments with Giants fans about this. Laugh out loud. Everyone sees it. I don't think it's argument. I think it's a good debate, and I love
You
you
can
being
look
here,
at it
dude.
both
Really
ways
love it.
though, because
I
it's
appreciate that.
also another thing to go.
Absolutely what Matt said.
Another thing to go to length of the field against that defense as well. In that situation, in that situation against an undefeated football team,
And
and then to go to length of the field.
Dayla, if you're watching the game, right, and the Patriots go downfield and score, what was your
He does have a
mindset?
point, though.
Did
Our
you
defense
think the
is
Giants were
fucking
scoring the
shit.
football?
Fucking
How they
bad.
played against the defense? Did you think that they were going to go down and do it? Probably not.
I,
Guess what?
I
They
love
did.
this, but
They
this is what we're
they
gonna do. This is what we're gonna
outclassed
do.
that team.
I love this debate, but I really
It's
would
been
want
fun
D'Lo to
though.
come on the
I love
show one of
this
these
debate.
days. Absolutely, and speak for himself because it's kind of hard for him to speak in the chat. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move the fuck on.
Dealer's a
Eli
good dude.
Manning
Go
is
sub up to Dealer if y'all haven't already,
D'Lo
by
is
the way.
awesome.
Go sub up to
Absolutely, absolutely.
Dealer. Check him out, man. He has
Yeah,
some interesting takes all the time, man. I respect the
for
hell out
sure.
of Dealer, man. It's all love, man. No doubt indeed, man. We all got our own opinions about
Yeah.
everything, man. And nothing but respect, man.
Well said, well said. This is the topic off the blue. Not our final topic because we'll probably end the show talking about the Giants, but I just wanted to give you guys a preview because sometimes I just predict these things and I just want to get it out there. Kind of like I predicted Oregon to go undefeated. What did Oregon do last season? Go undefeated. They got fucking stomped, but hey, they got stomped against what? The reigning defending national football champions? That's right. That's right. So they only lost against the champions, right? Didn't I tell you guys that Oregon was going to go undefeated? Yeah, I did. This is another team I'm high on, guys. How good is Clemson this season? Because I think Clemson is fucking ready for a natty, guys. And this is going to be a small segment into college football real fast. I think Clemson is loaded. Number one, I think they have the best quarterback in college football. Hands down. I think Cade Klubenak is batted coming up, probably going to be a first-round pick. I don't see Orchie maybe coming out this season. Even if he does come out this season, he'll probably go after Cade. That's how high I am on Cade. I'm going to let Adam touch on him in a second. I know Adam been watching some Club Nick. I know Adam knows how good he is. I just feel that Orchie, he's good, but I just think Cade is a little bit better due to the fact of the college experience. This guy is now a fourth-year senior quarterback at Clemson. Last year, he had 36 touchdowns with only 6 interceptions. He is fucking ready to go. He's locked in with the coach in Dabo. Some people call him Sweeney, that been coaching for the last fucking you know how long. And this guy won the national natty already, you know. Clemson already posted it with Trevor Lawrence. This guy knows this coach is an elite. He knows how to win football games. And I believe with his quarterback, his fourth-year quarterback, his senior fucking quarterback, he going to get it done. Not only that, though, but they have one of the best, if not the best, defensive tackle in Peter Woods in the game of college football. Not only that, the edge rusher, TJ Porker, is coming fucking back. So this is a team that already has one of the fucking best D-lines in the game of fucking college football. You know, yeah, Georgia, yeah, Alabama. No. It's Clemson. It's fucking Clemson. Not only that, but they have the cornerback in Terrell. So I just think the defense, when you have probably projected as a top 10 defense coming into the season, and some people would rank them inside the top 5. I've seen as some people rank them as number 1. But I just think if you have a top 10 defense going into this season and you have a quarterback that is really able to fucking throw the football with all the fucking throw it on everywhere on the football field, inside the hashes, outside the hatches, like Cade knows how to fucking be a leader on that football field, be a CEO on that football field. As much as I believe in Manning, I just think that Manning has the last name because of the hype. I think Manning's a really, really, really fucking great football player, but I just think it's Cade's year for Clemson. Early guess, Clemson, early pick for Natty. And I'm just gonna not end this segment by not talking about the SC, the Trojans. I just think the local boy, you know what I'm saying? The Island boys gonna get it done for SC. Don't count out SC, and we're gonna try to move fucking mountains in a pack, fucking not the Pac-10, but the Big Ten. Because damn, fuck, that's a horde fucking conference. But I'm alright with the SC, but as a football fan, as a college football fan, and just to be unbiased, as much as I fucking respect as much as I'm gonna fucking ride for SC, that's my team. I gotta respect Clemson and just touch on how good I think Clemson's gonna be this year. Over to you guys. If you guys want to touch on Clemson, if you guys don't want to touch on Clemson, I totally understand you guys. But I'll pass it over to Adam. Anything you want to say about Cade Klubnik? Anything you want to say about Clemson? Then pass it over to Mac, and we can touch on the Giants for a bit.
Cade Klubnik, because we have a guy we have to focus on right now. So
yeah, that's true.
If we need to worry about it, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him. I think he's got the most intangibles. We'll see if he can be the first quarterback taken. There is a reason why he stayed. He was eligible last year. He didn't come out. So let's hope that he can live up to the hype and they get a natty. If he gets a natty, he'll be the first pick in the draft. Sans Arch Manning, possibly, but we'll see. It's going to be a good setup for him. And I think this quarterback class is very strong. So that's why I think when we move on to our next topic quickly, the Giants, as we close out the show, it's good to get an understanding of what they got so that this next quarterback class that we'll probably be following, just because we like quarterbacks in general, we'll see where they land as well. So, but I don't really have much on that.
Well said, Adam. Go right ahead, Mac. I know you don't really follow college football, but can't leave you out of the segment. Anything you want to say?
Not much, but I don't really got much to add to this right now, so I'm not going to pretend.
Hey, fair enough. But brings on to, I'm sorry we don't have a graphic for our main segment, because the main segment is just going to be the Giants, because we know we absolutely love the Giants. As you can see, it's been a drought for the last 12 years, but we're still going to rock the gear. We're still going to represent our home team. To Adam's point, I know there's a lot that goes into this year on seeing that a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dort. We want to see him get some snaps on the football field. So I'm probably going to let Adam open up this segment, last segment of the day, as we put on the Premium Takes banner. And once again, man, thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you guys go check out all our respected channels. And that being said, go right ahead, Adam, opening us up with the Giants training camp. You missed last week's episode, but for good reasons. You had family in town. But what did you feel about training camp so far, and how do you feel about the Giants going into the 2024-2025 season?
Well, how I feel about training camp is it's going like training camp should. There's ups, there's downs, there's highlights, there's not highlights. You won't know anything until these guys play. Remember last year how we're this team, and then 2023 we're Super Bowl bound with Darren Wallard. This guy's looking good. A certain quarterback's throwing to this guy. It doesn't matter until you put the pads on come week one. However, I am more optimistic with what I'm hearing. I really do like the direction they are going. But I am a little skeptical about certain things that keep coming up. The false start penalties keep coming up in practice. That should be eliminated. That's just a lack of discipline. I feel like the guy that we're not talking about as much should be Brian Dable, right? We're talking about all these new pieces of Bill Carter, and it's something, you know how they say in politics, they give you something you get distracted by, right? So you look over here and forget what's going on over there. Well, that's what I think we're doing with Brian Dable right now. He has a tall task on his hands. He needs to make that kid, number 25th pick overall, competent. Okay, that's his job. I don't care what the record is. I think they're going to be a decent football team to watch. you're going to see 6 to 8 wins, maybe even 9 if they can get in there. But the schedule is fucking brutal. I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. And the Giants, some people are trying to tell you they're going to win 10 games. Do you know how hard it is to be +7? It's really hard, and people can.
I'm one of those Giants fans, by the way.
The schedule
11-6. I'm one of those Giants fans, by the way. 11-6, 12-5. We're doing it. Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
Basically, I'm just taking it with. I just need to see the kid play. That's my main concern. If the record is the record, great. But I'm not expecting a huge thing. The Giants signed a contract with Russell Wilson with a bunch of incentives that they don't intend for him to get. He's got $10 million. He can make upwards of $21 million. There's no way he hits $21 million. Another thing that people don't get is to go from a +7 after winning 3 games, and now you're going to tell me they're going to win 7+ more games is almost unheard of. Double that win total? Sure. That's more reasonable. But to win +7, that's almost triple your win total from the year before is almost unheard of. Now, again, has it happened with Commanders? Yes, they tripled their win total. Can it happen? Yes. Do I think the Giants are capable of doing it? No, I don't. I just don't think they have – I don't trust Shane Bowen's defense. He can't stop the run in practice right now. And, without Dexter Lawrence, they can't stop a nosebleed. So if you can't stop the run, I don't care how good your pass rush looks. If you're giving up 5 yards a clip, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. So there are some things that concern me. I'm excited for this team. You can tell by the way the team is practicing and how they're playing and how they're talking that they have a breath of fresh air. And one thing I brought up to Mac that I was telling him about, go listen to Jackson Dart. Go listen to Russell Wilson. Go listen to Jameis Winston. You want to hear quarterbacks talk? Go listen to those 3 guys. I listened to a robot for the last 6 years tell me about football. It was the most boring interviews I've ever seen in my life. These kids, they come in with swagger, with a little chip on their shoulder, a little bit more machismo, I guess you could call it if you're a Razor Ramon fan, a little machismo they have, right? And you're like, wow, I don't know if the kid's going to be good, but he's sure going to follow his career, Jackson Dart, because he goes up with the Up and Adams show, right? And he knows how to talk to a woman in an interview. Unlike the other quarterback who goes on there, can't even get a sentence out in an interview. Because he's too busy trying to it's like one of those people who's on a blind date for the first time, never met a female, didn't know what to do. He's just awkward. This kid's not awkward. He's got confidence.
Hey, you know what else though, Adam? I know you're going, but and I'm literally on the plane, but you know who else was at our camp today who's pretty high on us is the NFL Network showed up today. They had a whole camp at our camp. Wow, go continue though.
Exactly, Dilla. I told you thought they would come up short. Exactly. Well, guess what? Eli Manning got your dream for you, so you can thank him later. He'll be at the Hall of Fame. You can go meet him at Canton. But the point is that I'm excited for this team because it's football. I'm excited to watch Jackson Dart. Everyone, Matt was on before, and he was talking about Cam Scatterbo and how he was excited to watch Scatterbo. And one of the people in his chat goes, why is everybody so excited about this guy? We have Abdul Carter and all these other things. And it's like, the reason you're excited about Cam Scatterbo is because you probably didn't know a lot about him, right? You knew about Jackson Dart. He played for Ole Miss and SEC. He's on every week, okay? Abdul Carter wore 11. His team was on every week, all right? They were there. You knew of Abdul Carter, right? Cam
Come
Scatterbo,
watch some West Coast football. Come watch some West Coast football.
Till the postseason of the college football season.
Against Texas.
You didn't really hear his name being called until he had a game where he scored a touchdown in almost every facet of the game you can think of. So now he's on the Giants, and you're like, wow, look at this guy, bringing the energy, bringing the heat. Marcus Mimbo.
But you can't blame him. A lot of people found about Scat because of the playoff games. Because a lot of the times the playoff games they start so fucking late. Like for West Coast games in season, that like a lot of the times the East Coast fam they can't watch it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I don't blame people for finding out about Scat in the playoffs, and I know you don't too. But if you did, you can realize how good this motherfucker is. And and on Mac's stream, you guys should tune into his stream every Friday on his channel. Coach did brought up that this guy had over fucking 1,700 yards his fucking season, this past season with 21 touchdowns. And that's why the only 2 outstanding liars was probably Gentry that went to the Raiders and was probably Hampton that went to the Chargers. And then another one that is not coming to my mind right now, but Cam was inside my top 5, and for reasons being, this guy is a fucking broke man's Christian McCaffrey, and I don't say that lightly. Continue.
What up, Miz?
The draft picks in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round are intriguing players. So to be excited about the guys that we don't know about is what football's about. I can't wait to see Cam Scatterbo in the preseason. We already know what Carter's doing. He's oozing with the greatness. We see Jackson Dart. They get talked about all the time. So to be excited about a guy like Cam Scatterbo, who has a great name and was a solid back, it's exciting to watch. Nobody cared about Tracy last year. He was a random dude that came out of nowhere. No one gave a fuck about Tyron Tracy, right? And then what happened? You learn about him, you hear about him, and he made some big plays. We're excited for Scatterbo because we saw what he did. The production was there. Tyron Tracy didn't have the same production as a Cam Scatterbo, right? They didn't put the same investment into Tracy as they did with Cam Scatterbo. Remember, they drafted Cam Scatterbo. They wanted to draft him in the 3rd round. He lasted to the 4th. They took him in the 4th round, right? So they were high on him. So when you look at it overall, it's okay to be excited about a player that you don't have that much intel on, right? Not saying that we're not going to be happy that Carter.
Not only the intel, Adam, but like the reason why I'm excited from Scat, because you go, and I want Mac to get in on this too, but like go look at his resume. Go look at this guy's resume, and Coach brought it up perfectly. He played in a Power 5 conference. This guy's playing competition. Mac brought it up on his take earlier. This guy is playing competition every fucking Saturday. It's not like this guy's out there in the fucking, I don't know, fucking division, the Mountain West division. And I'm not trying to say this guy's name to make a point about my point, but the motherfucker went 15-14 inside his respected conference. I'm not trying to shit on Sanders, but people are wondering why he fell to the 5th round. Do I think he's a 5th round pick? Absolutely not. I think this guy deserved to go in a 2nd, at least the later 1st. But the fact that he fell to the fucking 5th is because he went 15-14 in his respected conference. And it wasn't a Power 5 conference. Or you have Cam Scatterbo playing in the Power 5 conference that fucking went the fucking distance against all these motherfucking teams, not only into his senior season, but also in his sophomore and his junior. And that's why I also think I'm really high on this kid, because a lot of the times, yes, he doesn't have the NFL speed. Yes, he doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. Shit. They said that about Richard Sherman. What round did he fucking go into? They said that about Michael Thomas. What round? You know what I'm saying? Like the only reason why
I just think we're just excited about a player that
there you go.
That we're just excited about. That's it. I don't think
too much premature hype.
I'm not saying he's going to be this great running back. I'm just excited to see him. But
I just think to land the ceiling and to let Max speak, I just think that his ceiling could be a broke man's Christian McCaffrey, but he's a fucking 4th round pick. So he doesn't have to be that. And we have Tracy on fucking roster. You know, we have Tracy on roster, so we said. But if he could just be a 1 fucking 4th of Christian McCaffrey with Tracy, I think we're in pretty good hands. Go right ahead, Mac.
It's like I said earlier. Anybody that was tuned in earlier to the stream earlier about Cam Scatterbo, it's not about any of that. I get it. He runs a slower 40 than most running backs. I understand all of that. But he just has something within himself. It's not something that's coachable. It's within himself. It's a will. He's scratched. He's clawed for everything he's got. He was not, like I said, and it's not to knock the guys that are, because those guys clearly work hard too. But he was not some blue chipper guy coming out of high school that all the colleges was beating down the doors and wanting Cam Scatterbo to be a part of their team and just throwing scholarships in his direction. This guy's had to scratch, claw, and earn everything he's gotten. And it's always been, every step of the way, he's been doubted every step of the way. It's something within him. He refuses to lose as far as himself. He's going to succeed. Failure is not an option for a guy like Cam Scatterbo. That's all I'm saying. It's something within him that he just has. Like that, that blue collar guy, man. He's gonna grab his lunch pail and come to work every day ready to go. Like I said, it's like I said, some things people have within them. It's like I said, it's not a coachable thing. It's something within the player. You know, it's like when Russell Wilson came out way back. I always say, I wish I was doing this back then and had any kind of evidence. But I'm stating facts, like I said. And granted, if Andrew Luck didn't have a premature retirement, obviously he's the best quarterback out of that class, and that wouldn't be really a discussion. But for the sake of this right now, I was telling people, I said Russ Wilson might mess around and end up being the best quarterback out of this quarterback class. And he went in the third round, right? If I'm not mistaken, because people said, oh, he's too short. He can't do this. He can't do that. He can't. When I watched Russell Wilson all through while he was in college at North Carolina State and Wisconsin, there was always something about Russell Wilson that I always watched and recognized. I said, this guy is a winner. He's a winner. And I always knew it. And I knew it was gonna translate to the NFL, and it absolutely did. All the teams that passed up on him during the course of that draft process, he made them all look ridiculous. He proved them all wrong. Cam Scatterboo, I'm not saying he's gonna have a Russell Wilson-like career, but I'm just saying he has that kind of within him, that type of mentality, that type of attitude within him. Like, you think I can't do it? You think I can't get this done? I'm gonna just go out there and show you. Like I said, I feel like I mentioned earlier, his role, especially in the early part of the year, it's going to be more in the short yardage goal line game, and that's exactly what you need. Tyrone Tracy between the 20s, Cam Scatterboo punching them in the end zone. You need that first down, 3rd and 1. You need that first down, Cam Scatterboo. Fourth and inches, the hell with some tush push. Just turn around and get that thing to Cam Scatterboo. You know what I mean? Like that's just what that's the kind of player he's going to be for this football team. Like Adam said, I'm not expecting him to be some all-time great running back, some maybe future Hall of Fame or none of that. I don't expect that. The measurables don't stack up to him being that. But at the end of the day, this guy is a very determined young man, and I guarantee you, he's going to have success in this league because he's not going to accept failure.
You know what it is too, guys? It's almost like Mac hit it on the point. His energy he gives off in camp. This guy cannot lose. He proved all the doubters wrong. I'm not saying he's gonna be a B. John Robinson, because clearly B. John Robinson is him after Henry and fucking Barkley retires. But he's gonna definitely be in I would say a bench player's fantasy dream, right? He's going to go out there. He's probably going to get 10 to 15 runs a game, if that, because Tracy, I still want him to be running back number 1, because I do truly believe that Tracy has the ability to carry that role. But I do believe when we win the Super Bowl, we had Earth, Wind, and Fire. So we need a running back by committee. And if you get a guy like Cam Scatterboo that could go out there, that could get a fucking 20 to 50 yards on the ground, maybe a 20 to 50 to 70 yards on the ground, or the passing game, and mix it in yards of scrimmage over 100 on the passing on total yards of scrimmage, and still have Tracy doing his thing. I think this is what this team needs when you do have a Malik Neighbors and a Theo Johnson, and then you look at our second string receivers, maybe with Robertson and Slayton and the receivers that is coming up into play. And one thing that Miz brought up too is like he's saying I'm not predicting any playoffs, but I am. And I am predicting the playoffs with this team, and I know who our coach is, and I know the season we had last year, and I know the type of team that we really are. We are fucking playing like a 3-win team. Am I gonna be shocked that we don't win over 6 games? Absolutely not. We probably are gonna win less than 6 games. But I am going to go out on a limb, and I say with the energy in camp, with what this rookie class, not only with a Cam Scatterboo, but with the Abdul Carter, with the Jackson Dortz, and with the Alexander, and the other rookies as well, tight end in the tight end room. I just think we got a lot of energy in this room. A lot of, hey, why can't we do it? We look across the town and we see the Washington Commanders doing it. Why can't we fucking do it? We have a winning quarterback that been fucking throwing the football all around the yard before fucking his offensive line got depleted. You go look at the Steelers' injuries throughout last year, and you tell me that any quarterback in the National fucking Football League could throw behind that O line. We just seen Patrick Mahomes throw behind his O line, and guess what? The Eagles in that Super Bowl lost 2 of their fucking starters, and we just acquired Abdul Carter into the draft. So on paper, yes, it looks fucking all high and mighty, but that's what I'm right on G Nation. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. You know, I'm gonna change the energy. Realistically, should I be thinking 6 wins? Absolutely. This team does not deserve the 11-6 record. But fuck that. I'm gonna vibe with that shit. I'm gonna say 9 to 12 wins with this New York Giants football squad. And that may come prematurely. Someone may be like, oh, you have high fucking hopes. But Shane, we talked about it earlier on Mac stream. If you're not in a hot name, if your ass is not a hot name, by the end of the year with this fucking defense, we got fucking problems. Because when we look at your resume in the Titans, when the Titans was the first seed under your defense in the NFC, in the AFC, when the Titans, they finally fell off course. Everybody wants to scapegoat Marcus Mariota, who's actually the backup quarterback to Jaden Daniels across town rivals. Long story short, you got fired, we hired you. But I just feel like if your name is not in a hot seat at the end of the season, me and you got problems personally. Obviously, I'm not going to do anything, but I just feel like this defense is set up to carry this team. And while the whole fucking world is eyes on this fucking defense, guess what? We got a guy named Cam Scatterbu. We got a guy named Tracy that's willing to make him work. We got a guy named Malik Neighbors and Robinson and Hyatt that wants to make his household name fucking appearance. Hey guys, my name is Hyatt. How you guys doing? I'm Hyatt. And we have so much fucking ribbons on this offense, but it all starts with fucking the coach. And that's why I understand if Giants fans and the history of this team and the offensive line, I understand if Giants fans is giving us 5 to 6 wins. But for the media, I'm sorry to continue this rant, I'm going to end it. But for the media to sit up there and to tell us as Giants fans that we're going to win 2 fucking games, you're out of your fucking mind. You will fucking punch Washington in the face. You will fucking probably punch fucking Dallas in the face. Don't take it from me. Don't put money on the fucking games because I said that. But I'm really high on this Giants fucking team. And if they shut me down again, they shut me down again. Go right ahead, man.
If you want to be technical, I mean, as far as Las Vegas odds go for right now, they only got the New York Giants down for 1 damn win. I'm just throwing it out there. New York Giants are only favored in 1 game right now, as things stand right now. Only 1 game the New York Giants are favored in this season. So just put that into perspective. This uphill battle, and I think the Giants are going to win obviously more than 1 game. Of course, I believe this team is good for at least a minimum of 6 wins at minimum. But that would be an improvement from a season ago. But like I said, to me, this season is not about so much the win-loss total. Because I think this is going to be a tough year regardless. This team still has work to do. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's just about the strides this team takes heading in the right direction, continuing to move forward and build upon what we've seen. Like I said, last year was a joke. Last year, this team was not competitive. It wasn't that they weren't just bad, they were not even competitive. Like, as bad as the Carolina Panthers were a season ago, they were competitive. And they kicked our ass when they played us. As bad as like the Cleveland Browns even were, most of the time they were still at least pretty fairly competitive. We were not even competitive. Like I said earlier, mentioned earlier, we literally got to a point where we had fans flying planes over the stadium with banners. That's bad. That's a dumpster fire. We can't have things like that going on anymore. And just to address one last thing about these young players, I do agree with you. You got to see them on the field, no Mets. But it's just a projection of what you really believe certain guys can be. And just to not keep tooting this guy's horn, but it's something when you see a player, and that's what I see when I see Scatterbo. I feel like I recognize talent pretty well. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I do. And I just feel like when I see a guy like Scatterbo, when I see it, he brings it all, man, all around. So it's not like he's just a tough runner as far as the short yards. I mean, this guy has legitimate good hands as well. I mean, he can go out there. He's contributing. He can contribute in the pass game as well. So he's a well-rounded running back, man. And I just feel like we got to steal with him in the fourth round, and I think he's going to prove that. And I hope we get to see a lot of what I'm talking about in the preseason, which will be starting next week. So I hope we get to see a lot of that, man. But that's all I got.
Adam, you got anything before we end the show? I think you said what you needed to say.
I think everything is said. This team needs to come out the gate. After 2, they need to be 2-2. After 8, they need to be 4-4. Otherwise, this team is 3-5 or worse. After 8, start the kid. This season for me,
facts on that.
This is where I land this plane. If the Giants struggle early on, I don't want to see Russell Wilson out there. I need to see Jackson Dart because, like you mentioned earlier about Cade Klubnik, they're going to be a strong quarterback class this year. And you want to make sure that Jackson Dart is the guy that you want, and he needs game experience. If we think 2026 is going to be the year that we're big, I don't want him costing us games because he didn't get to play. I don't want to not know what he is going into 2026 and miss on a quarterback class because we decided to not play him. He needs to be played. Brian Dable is not going to be evaluated on the wins and losses with a quarterback like Russell Wilson. He's going to be evaluated on what he was brought here to do, develop a quarterback. Well, guess what? That quarterback's in the building, and that's going to be his legacy, whether we like it or not. And I don't care about Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson has been in the league for 14, 15, 16 years. He's seen everything. He's not the long-term answer. He's 36 years old, going to be 37. Okay? He signed a one-year deal, all right, for $10 million. He's not like he got signed Sam Darnold money, right? We're not talking about a guy here who's in his prime anymore. And he wasn't great with Pittsburgh last year. So if this team is struggling, I don't want them to do what the Giants normally do, and that's keep the old guys in because we want to make the record look good. Know when to pull the Band-Aid out and just say, hey, you know what? We're 3-5. There's 4 or 5 teams in front of us that are better record playoff-wise. Let's go see what Jackson Dart can do. And maybe he wins us a couple games down the stretch. Because at the end of the day, that's how we're going to evaluate Brian Dable.
I love the fact that you said that. And I think if that comes to play, Jackson Dart better fucking see the football field. One thing that I want to point out before I pass it over to Mac before we end the show is I love the fact that Brian Dable went on a limb, and obviously we knew that Russell Wilson was going to be the starter, but he named Russell Wilson the starter. I love even more that he didn't name Jameis Winston the backup. He left it open. Hey, guys, compete for the backup job because Jackson Dart, you can clearly win it. Love Jameis Winston. I think he just has a coach written all over him in his future talk show host because the guy's fucking awesome. But I love the fact that our coach said, you know what, James Winston and Jackson Dart, you battled it out for that second string conversation. And the fact that if you're in a situation where the strength of schedule, if you look at SOS, it's up there. You know what I'm saying? And if we have a possibility of going 1-5 in our first 6, if that's the case, you get Jackson Dart on that fucking football field. Go right ahead, man. Good shit today, guys.
All right, before we wrap it up completely, I just want to say one thing before we get out of here. This Hall of Fame ceremony, obviously, tomorrow. I want to congratulate Antonio Gates, Eric Allen, Jared Allen, and Sterling Sharp. Congratulations, 2025 class, Hall of Fame class. Sterling Sharp has been long overdue. It's definitely been long overdue for a guy like Sterling Sharp, and now him and Shannon are the only brothers to ever be immortalized in the NFL, Pro Football NFL Hall of Fame, man. So
Eli Manning.
Well, until Eli Manning, but yeah, once Eli Manning gets there, would have been dope if Eli Manning would have got in there in this class, and then it would have been 2 sets of brothers. That would have been dope. I didn't even think about that. It would have been dope.
Good point.
Yeah.
We
But
did last week's episode. Make sure you go check that out. We paid homage to both Ozzy and Hulk Hogan, so you make sure you go check that out if you can, miss.
but but guys, it's been cool. It's been real. If make sure y'all go, y'all subscribe to my channel, Matt the Giants fan. Subscribe to Adam's channel, Adam Costas. Go subscribe to Zion's channel, Zion Zenith, and go subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network. Really appreciate the support. Appreciate y'all coming out joining us on this Friday night, man. While we've been talking a lot of shit, man. The Eli Manning debate. That's a Thomas debate, endless debate for me, man. I can go on and on and on with that one. It's one of my favorite arguments to have with people, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I want more of it, man. But we'll be back next Friday once again, man. Same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm Mac the Giants fan. That's Zion Zenith. That's Adam Costas. Throw them fours up for our fallen brother Jeff, man. Always gonna be here with us, man. This has been the Premium Takes Podcast. Peace.